All right, let's just dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we are unpacking something that honestly just blew my mind. We're looking at the very intersection of elite athletics and cutting-edge medical tech. Specifically, we're digging into Dr. Aveline's clinical blueprint on how a veteran legend, yeah, we're talking about LeBron James here, literally fights off systemic fatigue. And listen, we aren't talking about doing extra wind sprints or ice baths here. No, we're talking about high-stakes bioinformatics. It's just this incredible look at how advanced diagnostics and biometric tracking are actively rewriting the rules of human endurance and athletic longevity.
I mean, think about it. For decades, sports recovery was, what, ice baths and some stretching? But to truly understand elite longevity today, you have to look at the AI diagnostics keeping a 41-year-old performing like a rookie. It's all about these advanced software loops that are analyzing biological data in real time. That right there is the actual secret weapon. That's what's effectively keeping these athletes playing at an absolute peak level well into their 40s. It's wild.
So here's our roadmap for today. 1. The Elite Longevity Blueprint. 2. Sleep biomarkers and HRV. 3. Muscle oxygenation diagnostics. 4. Securing biometric data. And finally, 5. Preserving visual data fidelity. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Elite Longevity Blueprint. Moving beyond hardware.
41. Now, in the NBA, this number is a total physical anomaly. Let's be real. For most of us, 41 means, making a weird little noise when we stand up from the couch. But maintaining explosive peak performance in pro basketball at this age? Biologically, that is almost impossible under normal conditions. The sheer wear and tear on the joints, the systemic exhaustion, it's practically insurmountable without some serious, data-driven AI intervention. This number really represents the absolute limit of human hardware, which is exactly why the software has to step in.
And this is exactly where mainstream media just completely misses the mark. You always see these articles obsessing over the flashy hardware, right? The freezing cryotherapy tanks, the hyperbaric oxygen chambers, the stuff that looks cool on camera. But Dr. Aveline's research shows that the real magic, the actual solution here, is the software. It's the underlying diagnostic feedback loops. It's these incredibly complex models that match up an athlete's biomarker trends with their actual daily exercise load. The hardware? Well, that's just the tool. The software is the brain telling the tool what the body actually needs.
Moving into Section 2. Sleep biomarkers and HRV.
So before we look at how the software actually hacks the biology, we need to understand the biological metric itself. We're talking about heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, this isn't just your standard resting heart rate. This is tracking the minute time intervals between your actual heartbeats. It's an absolutely vital biomarker because it gives doctors a direct window into systemic fatigue. It literally tells the software exactly how recovered the body's central nervous system is before the athlete even steps a foot onto the court. And hey, if you wear an Apple Watch or an Oura Ring, you might actually be tracking this exact same metric while you sleep.
Looking at current market trends, there's a massive shift happening right now. We're moving heavily towards sleep-centric tracking. They're focusing specifically on HRV and deep sleep cycles using tech like the 8 Sleep app. Alongside that, you've got real-time sensors measuring muscle oxygenation using bioimpedance monitors, which, by the way, is basically just a painless electrical current that measures your body's resistance to see exactly how fatigued those muscles really are. It's a complete, industry-wide pivot toward matching real-time biological data with incredibly powerful recovery software.
This kind of data contrast is exactly what sports scientists are staring at on their dashboards all day. On one hand, you have these alarming red alerts. That indicates an unstable HRV and low deep sleep scores. Basically, it's a critical warning of severe systemic fatigue. But contrast that against the mint green positive status values. When a trainer sees mint green, it means optimal autonomic nervous recovery has been achieved. Honestly, that simple color coding is the literal difference between an athlete being perfectly ready for a championship game or being at super high risk for a major season-ending injury.
Okay, Section 3. Muscle oxygenation and diagnostics.
So the really crucial point here is that veteran athletes are constantly, and I mean constantly, battling microscopic muscle damage. Imagine being surrounded by biometric scanners that are actively flashing severe joint inflammation warnings and huge heart rate spikes in real time. Because you see, exhaustion isn't just a feeling anymore. It is a measurable biological precursor to a physiological failure. This incoming data demands immediate real-time diagnostics so the training staff can actually intervene before that sheer exhaustion snaps a ligament or tears a muscle.
And here is how this all comes together to create a true career-saving feedback loop.
Step 1. Thermal scanners detect these dark red heat clusters, which indicates lactic acid buildup. Then, Step 2. Analytics platforms, like Status Pro, for example, instantly identify this as localized tissue strain around specific joints. And finally, Step 3. The AI flags this whole situation in real time, instantly altering the athlete's load management. The goal? To stop a physical micro-tear from escalating into a full-blown injury before it even happens. It is a real game changer.
Moving on to Section 4, Securing Biometric Data. Now think about this. When you completely digitize a human being's biology, you instantly create a massive cybersecurity target. We are talking about managing highly private athletic biomarkers, securing inherently vulnerable cloud environments, and of course, protecting a player's entire medical history. The absolute nightmare scenario here is a broken padlock on a digital vault. I mean, we all worry about our credit card data leaking, right? But imagine if your complete physical blueprint, your exact physical weaknesses and precise injury risks was exposed to rival teams or just out there for the public. Preventing these catastrophic database leaks is literally just as important as preventing a sprained ankle.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Preserving Visual Data Fidelity. Now, there is a massive hidden problem in all of this, and that is data clarity. When you have severe pixelation and blocky compression artifacts, it completely ruins the biomechanical data. Think about it. You absolutely cannot diagnose a microscopic muscle tear from a blurry, compressed pixel. Doctors and the AI systems that analyze these motion capture vectors absolutely need lossless, high-fidelity color gradients, like Apple's ProRes format, for instance, to properly power advanced analytics platforms like Genius Sports. The data has to be crystal clear.
So to pull all of this together, Dr. Eveline's clinical blueprint emphasizes one overriding philosophy above all else. Athlete biohacking must be scientific, it must be data-driven, and it has to be entirely objective. You cannot just rely on how an athlete says they feel on any given day. You have to rely on the thermal scans, those HRV metrics, those mint green and alarming red data points we talked about. Taking an objective, heavily analytical approach to recovery software is, quite frankly, unequivocally the only way to achieve true, elite longevity in modern sports. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question to ponder. As we sit back and watch veterans absolutely dominate their sports at age 41, we really have to ask ourselves, does the future of elite sports lie in the physical training of the athlete, or does it lie in the computational power of their biometric software? Where does human performance truly peak today? It is a fascinating paradigm shift that completely redefines what it means to be an athlete. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gave you a whole new perspective on the true secret to athletic longevity.